live. Yay!
We're live. Hello, everyone, and we are live. It's with this BB Breakdown 902. I'm Mel, and my counterpart is just uploading the link right now to YouTube and Facebook. My counterpart is Lindsay. We're both Nova Scotian Big Brother super fans that come to you every week from the comfort of your home when hopefully feeds aren't that exciting right now and you're tuning in to see what we have to say about the week of Big Brother from last time we spoke. Which was post eviction on Thursday. We're coming to you early this week because our lives this upcoming week are super busy. So
That's true.
we're doing it. It would. But that's life, right? But we are committed to talking Big Brother every week, so we're doing it early rather than not at all. In saying that, we're going to dive right into it and just kind of go over what's happened since we last talked. So Mitch was voted out of the house. HOH took part, started in that episode and then carried on to the next episode. And it showed that Maddie was actually putting a little bit of critical thinking into the game. She has been paying attention and taking mental notes about the happenings of the house, which actually surprised me. And she ended up winning HOH, and much to the dismay of the entire house. And so we'll go from, and then we'll get into the spoilers that we know on the feed. So anybody that doesn't want to hear spoilers, at the end of our episode, we usually talk about a lot about feeds. Actually, for 75% of our episode is talk of feeds and spoilers. So if you're not feeling like being spoiled for the next two episodes, turn us off after we talk about Maddie's HOH win. And I'll hand it over to Lindsay. So what did you think of it? Were you surprised she's doing a little more critical thinking than we had originally thought?
I mean, it's the obvious
Or
move.
strategy, rather?
It's the obvious move. Like, I don't know if there's a lot of strategy. I think she was smart in putting up who she did, and I think that she did what Mitch told her. She clearly sees Tim as an advisor. And so I don't know how. I did appreciate the fact that she had some balls and was like, yeah, you're not going to know. Everybody's going to be sweating it out. Like, I like that part of it because, like, sometimes it's just so obvious. But in the end, it was pretty obvious who she was putting up. So, but I was surprised she said to Jared, like, you're fine, and then put him up anyway. Like, I was shocked a little bit by that. So, yeah, I don't know. I think she's shady, though. I don't really know that she's strategic. I think she's just doing the safe thing like she did with Levita, going after everybody who, like, everybody wants them out. I'm surprised she didn't put up the brothers. I can't believe that. But yeah, I think it was okay, but it's just like these two people have been up on the block before against each other. I know they don't fight, so it's just like, whatever. Like, let's get them out and let's play this game. That's how I feel.
Yeah. No, I meant strategy in terms of like her knowing when, kind of keeping a mental note of when the jackpot's going off in the house, like for the before and
Yeah.
after
Oh, I see what you're
event.
saying.
I didn't really think that she was thinking that much into the game. I thought she was more of an emotional player that was just, I hate girls and I want all the girls out. That's kind of
Yeah.
how I viewed her. Hearing like the insight that she had in the diary room about how she is actually like taking mental notes of like the happenings of the house and like, like, okay, the jackpot usually goes off between 6 and 8 p.m. every night. So I know it is, I was surprised by that. I was actually kind of like, I gave her a little kudos in my living room. I was like, wow, this is the first move that in a game that I've actually kind of respected you for, even
Yeah.
though it wasn't a move. It was more of a her brain rather than her emotions. I was actually really surprised that she did put Jared up as well. I thought for sure she'd be putting up Cassandra and Kelsey against each other. So that was just a little shocking to me. I think it was shocking for Jared as well. However, he's totally in game mode, as we saw at the end of the episode there. And we all know that he's a fierce competitor. So, which kind of preludes into feeds and what happens after nomination ceremony. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there's much more to say about Maddie, really.
I mean,
So we're going to get right into it and spoil.
I like the fact that she just like with one final swoop she got them all out. Like that was impressive that like she was the only one and like 8 people were out of the competition right away. Like that was pretty amazing. So
yeah, no one could seem to remember when the jackpot was going off. And even that, like every night it goes off between 6 and 8. So the fact that it goes off at the same time every day and no one else picked up on that, that was kind of surprising to me. But I think it's just because when the jackpot goes off, there's probably like, instead of saying, oh, it's going off at this time, they're probably thinking, what the hell does this jackpot mean anyway? Like what's going on with it? I
right.
think they're thinking more into like what rather than when is it going off. But yeah, no, so we'll just get right into it. So game goes on and Jared ends up winning veto. We don't see how he wins it, but he did indeed win it and take himself off the block. Again, giving you more points on your tally board there. I tallied it up for us today and tweeted it out to anybody that was interested to see how far ahead it was.
Well, I'm interested. What was the score?
Oh, you're at 100. Exactly. And I'm at 36. It's pathetic, but anyways, I'm like actually like just plummeting as the weeks go on. And this week, with Jared winning the veto and taking himself off the block, her renom was Raul. And so therefore, at least one more of my. Pardon?
I thought that was a boring renomination. Like, why put up Raul? Like, I guess she wants, like, Kelsey out, and that is her, like, strategy. But, like, I thought she'd put Cassandra, and she had this big speech, your ass is grass, and all this. And then, you know, and the brothers, and she just put up Raul. Oh, so boring. Blech.
I know. And then the turn of events that's happening, like, she was fighting so hard to get Kelsey out of the house. That's who she wanted. Kelsey. And in a way, Kelsey coming back indeed been more strategic for sure. And now all of a sudden I'm catching up today after working nights last night and somehow Raul is now the target and he's pretty much leaving the house because he offers more competitiveness than Kelsey does, which to me is just bollocks. I can see this girl totally, sorry, 1 second, I'm disturbing my flowers. I can see this girl and Jared and her together. They remind me so much of Jill and Emmett, so much so. Like, especially how calm Jared is with his mindset. Like, he's super competitive, but he's a calm competitive. And he's in it good with all of the house. Everybody knows he's a threat, but no one is willing to put him up because they all like him. Like genuinely like him and don't want him to leave for that reason. And Kelsey, I can see her just making a comeback if they keep her this week and start winning. Like she's you know, athletic. She's now much more strategic than she was, I find, first half of the game after going in that sweep. So I have no idea where the house's thought process is in getting Raul out. I almost said rail, as Nikki Graham would say. I think some of the players, talking of Nikki Graham, are thinking, oh, he got Mitch out, so I want him out for that reason. Nikki being one of them. And then Maddie as well, I think, is kind of now kind of swayed by that fact. But yeah, it's insane how things can just turn right around, like Kelsey being number one target and now all of a sudden it's Raul. It's crazy. But
I do not.
What do you think?
I don't think that Kelsey and Jared are Emmett and Jill at all. I really disagree with that. Only because the thing about Emmett and what's her? Oh my god, I just lost her name. Jill, is that the thing about Emmett and Jill was that they were so nice. They were genuinely nice and they were friends with everyone. They were so accepting of Gary. They were like in all these groups. The difference is Kelsey and Jared and Raul are like the mean girls. Like they all kind of stick together. They huddle. It's no different. What a waste getting Kelsey back in there. I just think like they're not likable. So I'm really shocked. I think they just keep Jared because, I mean, like really Jared's been up a lot and he's got himself off. Like he's good and he gets himself like off the block when he needs to and he throws things when he needs to. But I think like they're stupid for not like getting him out because she is the brains. Kelsey is the brains in my opinion, but at the same time, like there's just no like it's all beauty with them. There's no brawn or brains with them, in my opinion. That's how I feel. I just really
No,
don't
I
like
think you're
them.
I'm not a huge fan of Kelsey. Again, she was my number one draft pick because I had high for her going into the season. I'm not
And
a huge fan of
Jared was
her.
my number one pick.
However,
Oh,
that's so true. However, I really do think that Jared is likable, and I think he is playing a very parallel game to Emmett. I now, mind you, I love Emmett a lot more than I love Jared, but I see the similarities. I don't know anyone watching if you want to tweet at us and agree or disagree, but I see so many similarities with him, and I can see Kelsey coming back and winning comps. Like if it's an endurance next week and she ends up staying in the house, I could see her potentially winning that and shaking up the house, like putting up like the brothers and potentially Maddie because Maddie's after her, so she knows she has to get her out. But we'll see. We
yeah.
shall see. Did you see the or not the truth or dare the spin the bottle game?
No.
Were you in on that?
No.
So last night,
I saw them
so
like
let's
all
recap that
dressed
a bit.
up last night.
Yeah, they had a spin the bottle game. Apparently, the house got incredibly messy. So they had 20 minutes to go around the house and clean up the house. And if they did, they were rewarded with a pizza party with cocktails. And they ended up completing it. And they all got super drunk and were playing spin the bottle. And, anyways, it ended up that Nick and Kelsey needed to kiss. And everybody in the house was like, no, 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 don't do it. And they ended up doing it. But I watched the retake on Twitter because of course I was working. So I'm following madly all the people that I follow to update me on what I've missed while I've been working 3 nights in a row. However, it was, in my opinion, one of those kisses that like you kiss a friend, almost like a closed lip, like quick little kiss on the lips. And Jared got extremely heated about it and took it to Kelsey like, I can't believe you did that to me. Like basically losing some trust in her. So I don't know if that's going to have any turn of events on how the vote goes as well, like in terms of keeping Kelsey or keeping Raul. If he'll try and sway it the other way around to get Kelsey out again. But he was extremely heated about it, jealous, and accusing her that she's not at the same level as him. And she was like, like you have to have more faith in what we have and have more security in yourself and how I feel for you. And he wasn't buying into it. So that was kind of interesting to take a retake of that and kind of watch some clips just to get caught up on it. That's why I was wondering if you'd watched it live.
I
I would
watched
have
them
loved
getting
to watch it
ready.
live.
I
But
saw some of them. I saw some of them getting ready, and they were really going to town. So I was like, "What's happening?" And then I realized they were having a pizza party, and I was like, "Oh my god, I've never got this dressed up for pizza in my entire life." But I guess in that house, there's nothing better to do. What I was gonna say is the person I'm most surprised by in week 8 is Ramsey. I'm really enjoying Ramsey. And yeah, Maddie's a friggin' idiot. Like when she was like, I don't want to talk anymore. Oh my God, you're being ridiculous. She's such a child. I really don't like her. And she was my second pick in the whole thing, which is shocking. I really just don't like her. But Ramsey is somewhat level headed. It takes balls to go to Jared. And oh, did you drop me?
yeah, I dropped out for a second. Sorry.
Back. I think it takes balls to go to Jared and say to Jared, like, Kelsey's hurting your game. And that's what he did. And I think he's really smart. I don't think Maddie was ever going to take him into consideration in terms of like his thoughts and process. I mean, we only saw a clip and that's edited. So maybe there was more to it. But I guess my point is that I think he's smart. And I think like throwing it was smart from where he was. He's not anybody's target right now. Now with Mitch gone, I think Ramsey could actually go really far. That's he's like the, oh my God, what was that guy's name that went like all the way to the end last season? There was Sarah, Brittany, and
Godfrey.
He reminds me of Godfrey. Like he's on no one's radar. He's just doing his thing. Everyone seems to like him. And yeah, he's got no blood on his hands at this point in the time. So he's interesting to me.
Yeah, I had a lot of hope for him actually when I drafted him. He's not turning out the athleticism I anticipated he would. I was really surprised to see that clip as well, of him and Jarrett talking at the pool table about how Jarrett, you know, he's like, I trust you. You're the one person in this house that I trust. I don't know how much of that was fluff on Jarrett's part or how much of it was true, but it seemed to be genuine in that take that they had shown on the show yesterday.
That's the thing about
So
Jared,
that's
though.
interesting.
That's the thing about Jared. Like he wears his heart on his sleeve, and so that's why I don't think like he's not like Emmett, because Emmett was really like never ever did that, and so I think because Jared like so emotional, I think he everything that comes out of his mouth is genuine. Like I don't actually think like I think he does. Excuse me, value Ramsey, and I think he does like get jealous of Kelsey. Like everything about him is so like he's so emotionally like out there, and so that part of it doesn't remind me of Emmett at all, because Emmett was not like that. Like
Yeah,
you never knew where Emmett's head was, or at least I thought.
you kind of did if you were like me and you watched feeds continuously and you watched him and Jill talk at night. That was the only time you got insight to what Emmett was actually thinking is when he was talking to Jill, really.
Right.
And even then, he wasn't disclosing hand, but he was disclosing about, I'd say, I'd give him 65 to 80% of his hand was disclosed to Jill late at night when they're lying in the HOH bed because they had HOH almost every week. And they were lying there just talking a game, and he was trying to infuse some strategy when she was looking for insight from him.
Right.
So from that, he did divulge a lot to Jill, and Jill, being the trustworthy, genuine person she also is, didn't, you know, divulge his game to anyone else. It was between the two of them in that HOH room. So,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see how. I do think unless Jared turns on Kelsey, I think they'll end up keeping Kelsey and voting out Raul. And I'm really so anxious to see Mitch's reaction when he walks through the door. It's going to be so great.
I do not
But
think
yeah,
that Raul is getting out. I think it's going to be Kelsey all the way. I think it's only Monday. They've got till Thursday. There's no way she's a bigger target. Get her out. Get her out. Get her out. No way Raul's getting out.
okay, well, we'll have to see how that goes. The twist. So there's a lot of talk of twist, and I know we kind of grazed over it last week on what we thought after our initial shock of Mitch leaving, on what we thought the twist might be. I hoped that there was a possibility of Mitch coming back in, but then the more I thought about it, they said Canada's going to be heavily involved in it, so I'm not sure if a lot of people are speculating it'll be another Canada HOH on Twitter.
Right.
But I'm part of me really hopes that if Mitch isn't able to be revived, that maybe potentially it'll be him being HOH and him controlling what's going on in the house. That would be amazing. I would love that. What do you think? I'm just pro Mitch playing again in some fashion.
I
Like
would love if
rather
that
whether it be
happened. I don't think it will. But I would love it. I think it's going to be something like, I don't know, something like, yeah, you have like it might be the HOH thing. It might be, but it's not going to be have somebody go back in the house. I mean, really, they're at month 2 of this competition, and they have so many people left in the house. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people still in that house. Like they've got a month to get all those people out. No one else is going in. That's my prediction.
well, we'll see. Because it's supposed to be the longest Big Brother Canada season, right? Like they're supposed to prolong this season. So if no one else goes back in or they don't split the brothers, then how are they prolonging it?
Maybe it's splitting the brothers,
Right?
like you said last week. It could be just split the brothers. Like, do you think it's okay? Yes, no, Canada, go, kind of thing.
Well, of course, I'm thinking it's going to be an overwhelmingly yes, because people want to see the house spiced up a bit. I would be super curious to see how they play separately and if they stay together or come apart in this, because Phil has been overly involved in Nick's game, like because he's the super fan and Nick isn't, according to what I can tell on feeds. But he's just like in every aspect of his game, no matter what it be, he's just kind of telling, you know, don't do that, don't say that, don't go there, come here. Like he's very fatherly towards his brother. So it'll be interesting to see if they do end up splitting, how that dynamic changes.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so let's get on to the question. We had a question from Reading Cave tonight. He asked us if we were Team Tass, so Team Tim and Cassandra, Team Mamsie, so Maddie and Ramsey, or Team Chelsea, Jared and Kelsey. Which one's our favorite of those above showmances? I'll let you go first because I'm pretty sure if anyone's been following
our it right now.
What?
Hold on. I'm tweeting about it right now. About whom I'm going to say. Hold on. Oh gosh. Apparently I don't know how to text properly. Now, okay, here we go. I think that I am Team Tass all the way. The other ones are stupid. I am all about Team Tass. Cass and Tim, they're fun to watch. They're funny together. I'm enjoying them a lot. I'm not the biggest fan of Tim. I'm like whatever, but I like him and Cass together. It's very they're fun and they're enjoyable to watch. They remind me a little bit of like Gary in season 1. Like I tuned in just to see like the crazy antics he'd get into. And so for that reason, like I just enjoy them. The other ones are so moody and sad. No, it's game all the time. These two are just having fun. So I would love if they got together outside of the house. I don't know if it's romantic or not. Sometimes it seems like Tim says it is, and other times he's like, she's like a sister and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't really know, but I think, and then, you know what I enjoyed? I enjoyed that they gave each other slop too. I thought that was funny. Like, I was like, clearly just having fun. Like, it's all in good nature. I enjoy them. What about you?
Of course, I'm Team Tim, so I'm totally for Tim in any fashion of this game. I do really like the dynamic with Cassandra. I'm happy he's working with her. I'm surprised at how much he's kind of, in the beginning, he was like, yeah, I'd vote her out. But now he's kind of taking the turn, like, oh, me and Cassandra will work with you, Jared and Kelsey. Oh, me and Cassandra will work with you, Maddie and Ramsey. Oh, you have to guarantee that me and Cassandra will be safe next week if I do this for you. He's kind of turned a page on their relationship, whether it be game or it be more than game. I'm not entirely sure because you never quite know where Tim's head is. And they're not really asking Cassandra all too much in Diary Room where their relationship is in that regard. So, like, they're not really playing it off as that. They're playing it off more of as a BFF.
Right.
However, he considering her a lot more in his game now than I would have originally anticipated, which is kind of a new Tim gameplay because in Big Brother Australia, he only considered himself. He never considered anyone else. There was a lot of people in that game he enjoyed, he was friends with. Well, not a lot of people. There was a few that I can think of offhand that he really enjoyed, but he was always in it ultimately at the end of the day in that house for himself. So it's interesting to see him play a game with someone else and to actually kind of, from what I can tell, he's turned the page of caring more about her in the game as well and what her fate of the game. So that's I'm invested in that.
Do you think he's sexually attracted to her? Do you think he's into her like that, or do you think it's just like my friend, like platonic?
It's very hard to tell. It's hard to tell, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I can't put all my cards on, or not my cards, all my chips on, yes, he's sexually attracted. At times I think he is, but then other times he's just like, you're so annoying. Like, he always tells her how annoying he is. But as we all know, when we were back in grade school, the guys or the boys that teased and kind of griped about like a certain girl, that was the girl they ended up like really liking. So I'm not sure because tonight, or not tonight, last this, like he's like, like she's my missus, in reference to him giving her slop. So I don't know. We'll see.
They remind me a little bit of John and Netta in the sense that like it was always like brotherly, sisterly, blah blah blah, friends. They always like confided in each other, and then like they both kept it super platonic in the house. And obviously he had a girlfriend while he was in the house, and I get that. But I would not be surprised if once they got out of this house, they took it to another level. That's how I feel about it. I would love that if it happened.
But he's in Australia. Like as
You
far
can
as that
have
would go,
visas. You
is
can move.
all the yeah, I don't think he'd end up doing that. She might venture that way potentially. But I think for sure if there is any sexual innuendo in between the two of them, it will most definitely happen. A, if they go to jury when cameras are off. But I don't see them going to jury. I'm hoping that they make it far, like they might potentially, but either in jury when cameras are off, or that weekend that all the past Big Brother Canada house guests go to Niagara to party with the current Big Brother house guests, potentially there. But who knows with Tim? He's just such a wild card in general, like that. You just don't know where his head's at, right? So that's why
He's
I enjoy
very
watching him, because you
sexy.
just
I
never know.
will give you that. He's very attractive.
I'm not attracted to him. I just love watching his Big
Oh
Brother
my God. I
games.
think his hair and his
In
like
terms
little shorts. Oh yes. Or maybe I'm just
his little
lonely.
short.
Maybe I'm lonely. That could be it too.
Well, his personality is definitely attractive. I'll give him that. Like, he has a magnetic personality that you are just drawn to him. I think that's why a lot of people aren't even they know he's a threat. Everyone openly admits Tim's a threat. We got to keep an eye on him. But no one wants to get him out of the house. No one is actively saying, let's get Tim out. We have to get Tim out soon or he's going to win this game. No one is saying that because everyone just wants to hear his stories, wants to be around him. And I imagine in a house where there's nothing going on for all day and all night, somebody like that has that type of magnetic personality, you want to keep around because you want to be, like not in complete boredom where you want to sleep all day, you want to listen to
Right.
stories and get into shenanigans. And I would anyway, if I was in the house, I'd want to keep the people in there that I'm having fun with.
Yeah.
I would be very strict, but I would want to I'd be aligned with the people that I could see myself actually being friends with outside the house. And I think almost everyone in that house can see them, even Maddie, which is hilarious. We've really seen that this week, how much she respects and wants Tim in her game. Very interesting week in terms of how everyone's kind of opening up a little more
Yeah.
as to where their truth lies. So it's been a good week for that. Even though it's been a few days, it's been since Mitch has gotten out. It's I find that people's games are opening up a bit more than they have been in previous weeks. So yeah, I would next week. Who do you hope to be HOH? That's my next question to you.
Who do I hope to be HOH? I would like the brothers to be HOH. I want to see where their like head is in the game. Are they going after like Jared, or are they going after like Maddie and them? So I think that it would be interesting. You know me, I just don't like the same thing. If I wanted the same thing, like I just like, like I just want it to shake up. And right now it's just like a witch hunt to get those three out. And so it's just kind of like I'm enjoying the feeds. I'm enjoying everything happening, but like, let's get them out and let's do something different. And when they shook it up and I thought it was going to be that, and she was going to go back in and be a completely different player, that was so exciting. And it was just like, here we are again. Like, I feel like this is like 3 weeks ago. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like it is very much like a pissing a competition right now. Like, who's going to win the next HOH? Who are we going to get out from the other side? Once those power players are out, or at least Kelsey or Jarrett or Maddie or Ramsey are out, and like they're forced to align with other people in the house. I think it's going to be interesting to see how the house kind of takes over. I would be really interested to see Joel get another HOH and kind of see him, because he is very strategic and he does know a lot about the game, and he really is thinking for himself. As much as people thought that Levita ran his HOH, he very much ran his own HOH with strong influence from Mitch. I'll give Mitch a ton of credit there. But he was very much more capable of being HOH than people gave him credit for. So I'd be interested to see him be HOH now when neither one of them are in the house.
Yeah.
He's strongly aligned with Cassandra. So I don't know. I would really want to see Joel win HOH next week and see how he shakes it up. If Canada's not a HOH, if that's not the twist this week. So
yeah.
what else do we want to say? I think that runs out of my short list of what we were going to talk about. Is there anything else you want to talk about before next week?
No, I think like I want to know what the twist is. I'm really excited about that. I really just like, let's get them out. Let's go on and like, let's get some. I'm enjoying this season so much. We say it every week, but I really, really am enjoying this season. I like that they, like, as annoying as I find Maddie in some aspects, like, I'm enjoying the fact that, like, at least she reminds me a little bit of Janelle from the US Big Brother, not in the sense of like her gameplay, because Janelle was like the best, one of the best players. I'd put her up in the top 5, to be perfectly honest. But I like that she's not afraid of confrontation. And I think that's what it is. Like, if, like, you know, Cassandra's all about like, oh, well, you know, like, she's really nice. And I think like Maddie just says it like it is. So I like her. It's a great game. It's a great season. It's the best. You're
Yeah,
up.
no, I totally agree with you. I'm absolutely loving the season. I can't complain at all, other than the girl hate that comes from a certain character. Other than that, and the fact that girls are just like being picked off left, right, and center. I really hope Kelsey stays this week for that reason alone. I would like to see Raul out just because he did get rid of Mitch, and I know it's not the best strategic move if I was in the house to want Raul out, but that's probably where my vote would lie. I would want him out because I probably would have hoped I would hope to have been aligned with Mitch if I was put in that house. If I was ever so privileged. Did you watch his house guest hangout before we get off? Like, did you watch his thoughts and everything post game?
You know what? I actually did. I watched a Facebook Live video of him like talking about the game. It was like 45 minutes, and I had all this like work to do on an Excel spreadsheet, and I just like had it one earbud in and listened to it, and it was really good. Like, because I really just wanted to know how he felt about everything, and he wasn't very definitive about like, this is who I think is gonna win. He was very like, you know, he's a scientist. He's all about like figures, and like he's like, there's a lot up in the air right now. So I really enjoyed it. It was good.
Oh, I was just so happy that he had no bad blood, you know? Like he
Yeah.
had no, he really realized it was a game, and he was just so down to earth. And I think that's part of the reason I loved him so much, not to mention for his strategy. But I want his game revived so bad. And I really
You know
hope the
what's
Big Brother
funny?
dogs
I feel
continue.
like
But
when he left and he said, get these 3 out or they're going to have my vote, I kind of thought that was like a nice thing to say. Honestly, I wasn't offended by that, like on behalf of like Jared and Kelsey and Raul, because like I thought it was like, guys, like they're really, really good and I'll give them my vote. It wasn't like a scare tactic, but that's how they took it. Like maybe I'm completely wrong. I just kind of felt like that wasn't like malicious. That was more like they're really good. So, but I don't know. They were upset.
yeah, oh, they were very upset. And I think it's because not just that, but he really blew up their game
Oh my
because
gosh.
they really were trying to get him out, but on top of that, they were trying to align with every person in the house. Um, and he really blew that up before he left. And I think they were upset of how much of their game was exposed, right?
Yeah.
And how hard they really were game all people in the house. And I think that's more along the lines why they were upset. And I think they also realized, yes, it was a good move to get him out, but would he have really gone against us this early in the game? I don't think he would have. I really don't think Mitch would have. Even if he had been HOH, I think he would
No,
have targeted Tim, to be honest, because
he was
he's
going,
scared
he
of
was
Tim
like,
and he
what do
admitted
you
it.
think? Sorry. What with the like whole idea of like let the two teams fight it out, he was letting that happen and it happened. It was Dallas and then it was like Levita and like he was just letting people fight it out. And I think that that strategy would have worked for him in the long run. But I think just because like somewhere Levita's sitting there being like, I kind of blew up Mitch's game. And he even said, like, my biggest question was somebody asked on the Facebook Live video, like, are you mad at Levita? And he was like, no, it's a game. Like, she had to do what she had to do for her strategy. So even though, like, I was a little bit frustrated with Levita because I was like, you did this. He doesn't see, like, he knows it's a game and that's, you go in to play the game. And I think, although he was a bit sad to go into jury just because, like, I think he wanted to go home, he's a great person to have on jury because like he's the kind of person that like will be like, but guys, but what about this or whatever. He'll ask hard questions. So like, it's so good.
And very dip- and he's very diplomatic, so his questions won't be out of spite or out of resentment of the fact that this person got him out or whatever. They'll be very diplomatic, and that's what I loved about him. And the fact that he was like that in his house guest hangout, I was like, oh my goodness, I love this. I'm going to watch this again when I miss you again. About a week when I miss you and I realize that you're not the twist to come back in the house, I will watch this again. That's how I felt about that house guest hangout. Anybody that hasn't checked it out, it's definitely worth watching, definitely worth checking out. I'll try and find it and post it to our Twitter page so that the link will be there if you'd like. It's great if you were Team Mitch, which I very much was. So anyhow, yeah. So I guess that kind of concludes our week of Big BB Can 4. Thanks for everyone that tuned in live. Thanks for everyone that tunes in after our show has aired. We so much appreciate all of our viewership. We will be tweeting a lot more this week about show because I'm off for the next 2 episodes. And Lindsay, I'm not sure if she's jet setting or not with her job, but I will definitely be tweeting for our account on the upcoming episodes and let you know when we will be airing next week. It'll probably be next Monday, but we'll see with our schedules or whatever if that works out. All right. So yeah.
Okay.
That concludes. So tonight, thanks for tuning in live. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.